Welcome back to Enderal, where we continue our way down the road. We just took out this bandit to claim our tower. And we get it always messes up your caps lock auto run stuff because I want to hold shift when I run. I want to be able to walk and run, so I can vary my stride. Borax Farm seems important, but we're headed for. Okay, so we could actually take a turn in the path now. Now this is previously treaded. So it should be initially peaceful, and then pick up as we get closer to our main storyline quest area. Oh. Nope. Actually, no, I need to remember that I've got my hotkey stuff. Nope! That's right, stick your head up! Get hit! Give me that rabbit foot. That's a waterfall, and it should be the Myrid Tower up that way. Oh, actually, let me do that. Oh, I let go too early. Okay, I think I previously hit him. Oh, good dodge. Yeah, I'm probably not catching that. Just have to hit him when I catch up. Yeah, these wolves don't even care. Starving wolf just... Oh. Oh, it's a rat. What, is like a rat working with wolves? What the... He went short. It's like, jeez. Must have been from that way. I don't see anything on my radar. Sounds like combat's still going on though. Search for bed. Okay, now it's going away. He suspects me. His friend didn't get away. I'm up another rabbit's foot. Yeah, he's hippity hopping. Yeah, I don't see him. Oh, wait. Oh, he's right there. Oh. Oh, that was a close one there. Let's recover any arrows. Had a miss over here. It should be sticking out of the ground. Okay, I got 5 arrows left. Never took the shell. There's a duck. I don't have any duck meat yet. Oh. Okay, he's invincible. So, oh, previously heard of a rat infestation. It's worth taking. Okay, so that's towards Ark, so I should be headed this way roughly. Well, I've gotten off path. So I need to head straight. Then. Oh. What? You showing your claws to me? I think not. So I need to head west, take a right at the next fork in the road. Oh, you're a bear. Where's that bear? Not sure. Okay. Oh, old border. I don't have the skills yet. So past old border watch. Wolves. All right. Oh. Got him. I also suspect wolves may attack. You're here. Oh, he knew when to serpentine. Live another day. Oh. Oh, something's attacking me. Oh.
You'll pay for that. You fucking scum! You'll pay for that.
Oh, wow, that was quite the hit. Nah, lockpick. Rusty bread, nice. Oh, a steel cuirass, 23%. It's heavy, but I could use one torch. Did not go well for you. So they were guarding this place. The logging camp. The Butcher, Volume 3. Here we go. The first days of my journey were an almost spiritual, yet not entirely pleasant experience. It felt as I had lived my whole life wearing the veil over my eyes. The greater the distance to the barren cliff with Fogville became, the more surreal it seemed that I had lived there for 28 years. As a priest, it almost felt as if it had been merely a dream. Did I read this already? After all, who was I? I was unable to find a satisfying answer to that question. If not in my foolish journey to return home immediately, it would become heretic pathless one. I might have done this one. The fact that I belong to the clergy of lesser concern to me. Let me check. Before I bother everyone. Nope, it is new. No, lesser concern. Well, I thought of Malthus and his 101 verses, and about doubt and bitterness pierced my sense of liberation like a mental sword. Yet the thought of returning sparked a similar reaction. That dull feeling in my stomach lurked inside me. When I tried to take a few steps back toward Fogville on the second day of my journey, the very same terrible panic arose which had led to the breakdown in my chamber. No, the only path for me to take now was the one leading through my suppressed memories, away from my false life. I had not the slightest idea where to start looking for the lost fragments of my childhood. I had only been 2 years old when Gilman had found me. What could have happened to shape my life to such an extent? I I had only one clue to find answers. The ominous words of the veiled woman. To trust these words was as foolish and irrational as trusting a Quarian bone reader, but I had no choice. Follow the fire. I halted for a moment and wiped the sweat from my forehead. After I had descended from the Fogville cliff, I had followed a narrow path along the coast. I had now reached the border of the Heartland. Ark was about 11 days' march away, but I intended to use my last pennies to pay a myriad flight to the capital. The overgrown tracks through the Enderal forest were too dangerous. Currently, I walked on an unpaved road between colorful meadows, a temporary interruption of the forest that surrounded me for most of the route. The sound of birds was in the air, and the sun was burning the back of my neck. "You're insane, JL, simply insane," I thought as I looked back. Indeed, what I did was contradicting everything the holy verses had taught me. Only about 7 turns of the moon ago had I accompanied a small group of boys and girls of appropriate age through their consecration. I remembered how a bright red-haired Eterna girl had spoken to me during one of the preparatory lessons. Her hair was fine and straight, like it usually was for the pointy-eared race. "What if I would not want to become a tailoress?" she had asked me after I explained the importance of the upcoming names day ceremony to the children. "What is your name, young girl?" I had answered smilingly. The determined look had not vanished from her eyes. "Selena, father, my name is Selena." "Selena, very well. Let me give you a small riddle, or rather, let me give you all a small riddle." She had furrowed her brows and looked at me skeptically, more like a grown woman than a young girl. "Picture yourselves as brave explorers. It is your holy mission, personally assigned to you by the Grand Master of the Order, to discover new land far beyond the Skyrim Isles, just as the first pioneers did in Enderal." The blank or bored looks on the children's faces had been replaced by curiosity. Only Selena had continued to regard me with determined skepticism. "However," I had said pointedly, raising my index finger, "a great disaster happens to you, a thunderstorm. You are only halfway when your galley is torn apart by a tempest. You are lucky because none of you are hurt, but you find yourselves on a wild, deserted island. There's nothing but thickets, cold sand, and wreckage around you. With the exception of Selena, all of them had been drowned into my tale at that point. You all know that if you want to survive, you need to act at once, for not only bitter cold and hunger could be your doom. You can hear a threatening growl from afar, a sound that only a wild evader can bring forth. When I mentioned the hideous goat-like creatures which usually lived in dark and moist caves, some of the children had uttered noises of disgust. So you start collecting wood and build a camp, but soon you realize that some of you are better qualified for certain tasks than others. Ralof, for example, can carry twice as much wood as Selena because of his strong physique. You, Gilma, are a gifted markswoman because your father allowed you to practice with the straw dolls in the guardhouse at the early age. Now who should keep the first watch, and who should go looking for firewood?" All children had agreed that Ralof was supposed to carry the wood, and Gilma to keep watch. The game had continued until all tasks had been assigned to the pioneers according to their physical and mental conditions. "Well," I had continued my tale, "but now something bothersome happens. Ralof feels exploited and does not want to collect any more firewood." The boy had looked at me indignantly, but I reassured him with a gesture of my hand. "Of course he behaves like this only in my story. By all means, he does not want to go looking for firewood anymore. He says he wants to keep watch with Gilma, even though all of you know that he would not be able to hit a blind, paralyzed troll with his bow. Now my question to you is this. What would be best for all of you? If Ralph came to reason, or if he kept watch from now on, and Gilma collected wood instead?" The children had voted unanimously for the first choice. "Very well. Only this way you will be able to defy invaders. Hungry and cold on the inhospitable island until a galley arrives and brings you safely back to Enderal. This is the essence of what the Holy Scripture teaches us. Unity and strength can only emerge in a community that serves the welfare of all, and not just an individual." So it's just like medieval communism. Malthus himself chooses our divine tasks, for who else knows our strengths and weaknesses better than one who grants our mothers the gift of fertility each moon? With a satisfied smile, my gaze... Well, actually, it's a caste system. That's more accurate. With a satisfied smile, my gaze had wandered back to the one who initially had asked the question, and that, dear Selena, is the answer to your question. Even if you have doubts about the path Malthus is soon going to choose for you, defy them as you defy a disease, for only a people united in flesh and mind will be able to prevail eternally. The children's answer had been content silence. Selena, however, had not lost her skeptical expression, even after I had finished my story, which had been inspired by the first verse of the path. The path, had I ever believed in it, I did not know. It was what Mother Pylea had told me. It was what I was supposed to believe. If even I, an educated man with access to so much knowledge, was only able to discover the decayed memories of children after a vision, what about other people? They all live a false life? But if it shot through my mind, the path is indeed a lie. What guides us then? The heretical thought kept me occupied until the sun set. The sun had disappeared almost entirely behind the horizon by the time I spotted signs of human life on the trail again. Like the 4 days before, I had been wandering through woods of pines and cypresses, encountering not a single human soul. But now a giant field of wheat stretched out before me, and in the middle of it stood a windmill, tall as a tower. Its wheel turned slowly in the evening wind, and a mixture of dusty earth, moss, and freshly cut grass hung in the air. For a moment the rustic beauty of the sight made me forget my aching legs and the dull feeling in my stomach. People. Despite my fatigue, I accelerated my steps and soon reached a paved road which wound between the hills overgrown with wheat. After a short while I found what I had been looking for, an inn. Night had fallen completely by now, and the orange light from the windows of the old ivory-covered farmhouse promised shelter and rest. A smile formed on my face, and I sighed with relief. The past few nights I had spent in small caverns, with my back used to my soft bed, did not approve of. A warm meal. Suddenly 2 horses dashed past me in full gallop. Instinctively I jumped to the side. The flank of one of the horses barely missed me. I let out a scared cry, stumbling as I tried to regain my balance in vain. I landed in the dust with a muffled thud. What in blazes? Indignantly I looked at the 2 riders, who came to a halt in front of me. They were both very tall and wore solid leather garments, like hunters. Their horses were black, indicating an expensive breed. Angrily I watched them dismount, tossing a penny to the slender boy who was probably the stable lad, and disappear into the tavern. Even back then, I hated inconsiderate and crude people. Had those 2 apes even realized that they had almost run me down? Probably not, and if they did, they would not even look at you. My lips shrank to a thin line. Damn primitives! But my mind was too exhausted to allow any more angry thoughts. I shrugged in resignation, picked up my staff from the ground, and went to the farmhouse. The overwhelming sweet scent of freshly baked bread greeted me, and my anger dissolved. One last time I looked at the tavern sign swaying in the wind. The Red Ox. A hint. This was where I would spend the first civilized night of my new life. The Red Ox. I entered the tavern to a pleasant buzz of voices, clanking goblets and crackling fire. The cold was quickly driven from my limbs, my mouth watered. During my long march I had only eaten a few pieces of bread and a couple handfuls of whisper's weed. The tavern looked well frequented, which explained the empty roads outside. I assumed that it served as the meeting point for the local farmers. There was enough space for about 30 souls here, and nearly every chair, stool, and bench was occupied. Torches illuminated the room and cast dancing shadows of the guests on the walls. I scanned the crowd. Next to the entrance, a tired-looking man studied a yellowed-pictured book called The Merry Eterna Damsel with great interest. Judging from what I could make out of its saucy images, they had not been drawn exclusively for ethnologists. The bearded bard turned his lute on a shamefully tiny pedestal. He was probably preparing for his next song to be devoured by the noise around him. Right in front of me sat an inviolably attractive, well-dressed man who was engaged in conversation with a woman whose countenance showed utter devotion. I estimated him to be 35 winters old. His hair was jet black, his face masculine yet delicate, with 3-day stubble, my mouth distorted. He has to be a prick from the upper city, one of those who shag around and waste their inheritance. Just as I finished the thought, the beau noticed my staring. For a few heartbeats, he looked at me with sparkling eyes and smiled, fetching and narcissistic at the same time. Then he turned back to his admirer. The other guests appeared to be travelers and farmers of all sorts, men and women, young and old, tall and short. I felt misplaced, like a Northman on a Quarian bazaar, strange and uneasy among the rough people among whom I did not belong. Hastily I stepped up to the counter, which was located under a lower part of the ceiling, and behind which various barrels and liquors were lined up. I was about to speak when I noticed the 2 clumsy figures seated on the high stools, the 2 apes. Now I had time to study them. One of them had a full beard and 2 strange earrings which gave him the appearance of a buccaneer. His chum had no beard, but he did have a chin that looked like it could shatter walls of Northwind stone. I felt the urge to grab the mug in front of me and throw ale into their faces. The idea vanished, however, when the 2 took notice of me. Unwittingly, I ducked my head while they gave me an amused look before turning their attention back to their stew. They didn't even recognize me. With a small nod, I summoned the barmaid who was cleaning mugs behind the counter. She approached, sizing me up with vague curiosity. Matris? What may I get you? At least she has the decency to address me as an urban citizen. I tried not to show my inner turmoil. A glass of goat's milk, please. I tried to sound masculine and confident, but my voice, coarse and untrained after 4 days of silence, was a pitiful croak. The reactions could not have been more intense had I asked for the crown jewels of the Golden Queen. While the barmaid only smiled and shook her head in sympathy, the 2 primitives next to me burst out laughing. Goat's milk, one of them roared, slapping his comrade's shoulder. He wants a glass of goat's milk. I stared at the giant, irritated but defiant. I could probably have avoided the events that followed if I had not responded. Although numerous snappy answers passed through my head, the one I finally gave them, arms crossed in front of my chest, was pathetic. Yes, goat's milk, I replied with quivering voice. You have a problem with it? This only appeared to intensify the apes' hilarity. Their new round of laughter was so loud that even the bearded bard stopped playing. His lute and as many other guests turned his insulted yet curious gaze toward the counter. After they had finished laughing and patting each other's shoulders affirmatively, the buccaneer spoke to me. By no means, Matris. He mustered a fainted sympathetic expression, a grin already on the verge of breaking through. It's just, unfortunately, the tavern is fresh out of goat's milk. Maybe you want to try the Harlot's Inn in the bathhouse of Ark. I felt fierce anger arise in me. Never since I had become a priest had I been treated with such disrespect. Never. I will do that when I visit you next time in the ape's compound. I froze. The snappiest retort had come from my mouth. I said, never. I will do that when I visit you next time in the ape's compound. Faster than I had been thinking, and the cheerishness of the 2 churls dissolved just as quickly. From the corner of my eye, I saw almost half the guests follow the events with apprehension. You damn idiot. You damn miserable idiot. For a moment, the eyes of the buccaneer and his chum narrowed to slits. Then the anger left their faces and was replaced by a livid feistiness. Well, well, he growled, sounding unmistakably vicious. So you're a real badass. I wanted to take a step back, but the buccaneer grabbed my wrist with his right hand. His grip was hard and firm, his fingers crude and full of calluses. I felt cold sweat breaking out all over my body. I realized that the man was primitive but dangerous. Half-heartedly, I tried to escape his hold, a convulsion the 2 men ignored easily. I am sorry. The gorilla covered my mouth with his hand. He pointedly glanced at his chum, who sneered even more. I like brave people, but you seem to be exhausted from your long journey. The other man pushed something toward him over the counter. So how about a little refreshment? With that, he released my mouth, grabbed the bowl, and poured its contents over my head. It was stew, and if the encounter had occurred a few minutes earlier, the broth would probably have scalded my skin. Nevertheless, I was covered in hot, sticky slime. Shocked, I gasped for air, inadvertently inhaling some of the broth. I broke down coughing and panting. The meaty brew dripped down my hair, and some of it found its way into my garment, running down my spine. I heard roaring laughter around me. I was certain that most of it came from the buccaneer and his chum, but some of those who had watched the events were now laughing as well. My stomach cramped, shame rising up from within me. There I was, degraded, coughing stew, the laughingstock. I felt the impulse to jump up and grab the buccaneer's throat, but my reason suppressed it instantly. I was deeply humiliated, but I had no death wish, so I tried to raise myself up in a controlled and dignified manner, and removed pieces of meat from my clothes. Indeed, my indifference and serenity would be enough of a lesson for the 2 brutes. I gathered all my priestly courage and turned around. They looked at me, amused and challenging. They want me to keep acting defiantly, I thought. They want me to keep provoking them. I did not stand the slightest chance against any of them in close combat. That was certain. After all, I had as much knowledge of brawls as a troll about his hair care. Just leave, Jael. Leave and swallow your damn pride. I peered at the crowd. Most of the guests had returned to their meals or conversations. Only a few of them still looked at me expectantly. Among them, the black-haired Bio. Nobody seemed to despise the impudence of the 2 men at all. Abruptly, I realized that what had protected me from the events like this in my entire life, my priest's robe. It had been the only reason why other boys had stopped mocking me after my consecration, and it likely was the only reason why everyone had lowered their heads devoutly, or at least had the decency not to pour stew over me when I entered a tavern. You are nobody, Jael. Without your priest's robe, you are just another common man, neither big nor slim, neither old nor young, neither ugly nor handsome, meaningless. I briefly considered drawing the priest's brooch, which I had not had the heart to leave behind, from my bag. Oh, how they would look at me, the primitives. They would begin to recite the prayer of the path with eyes widened by fear, asking me for forgiveness. They would respect me, what you represent. Yes, they would bow their head in reverence because they fear the power of the Holy Order. Of course they would. To disregard a priest of the path was a capital crime, and only a fool would risk such a punishment. No, to reveal myself as a priest would not only mean to rely on the authority of others, but also to return to my false life. I already felt my stomach constricting worryingly. I had to comply, so I took a deep breath and swallowed my fervent shame, ignoring the mocking glances of the buccaneers. I silently gave the barmaid a sign that I wanted a room for the night. I had no desire for a meal anymore, even less in the presence of those who had witnessed my humiliation. The barmaid nodded pitifully and told an old man who sat quietly by the counter and looked undefiantly at me to show me the way. In silence I followed the old man up the room. Only when I stood in front of the room's door I felt the malice of the brutes, which cut like a sword in my back, began to wane. I gave the old man 5 pennies and he handed me the key. 5 pennies, what a deal! A burning candle and a cloth for cleaning, which was probably meant for a benevolent gesture, but only intensified my shame. I turned around silently, entered my chamber, and locked the door behind me. Anger overcame me like a flood. Without taking notice of the bed, I moved to the window and stared into the rain. I let out a suppressed shout, closed my eyes, and clawed both my hands into the window ledge. By the Black Guardian I was angry. Of course the rational part of me knew that I had gotten off cheaply. In other seedier taverns, people left a brawl with a broken arm or worse. However, I was unwilling to accept the events and put them aside. Did these men have no respect? This kind of scum deserved to be hanged, flayed and skinned, like brigands and marauders, preferably in public. My jaw cramped up and I became aware of the feeling in my stomach starting to change. The dull twang of insecurity had transformed into flaming rage, encaged in iron determination. I will not begin my new life in disgrace. I opened my eyes and looked at the candle the innkeeper had given me. The flame sputtered and flickered. In a strange way, its fire strengthened my determination. I wanted to teach the 2 apes a lesson, even if it was the last thing I did. But how? What can I do except preaching, reading books, and mixing herbs? Ooh, you can poison them. I stilled. Yes, now I was almost grateful that the 2 disrespectful primitives had crossed my path. Right here and now. A malicious grin bloomed on my lips as I turned my gaze back to the window. For a short time I marveled at the man staring at me from the silent glass. His pale blue eyes were like burning ice, a contradiction that seemed to be as natural to him as the fire of the sun in autumn twilight. He no longer resembled the cringing priest who had given the blessing to the washerwoman only a week ago. Yes, the man emitted something akin to power, determination, fire. An epic tale of revenge well deserved. What about this? Brack, we have scouted the Whisperwood. I know you don't really dare to go there, but east, not far from the old ritual site of the steel crabs at the lake, we've discovered a glow powder workshop of the Relata in a cave. Imagine the pennies we could get for that. The Relata protect the spot with mercenaries who are more skilled than you. You need to overwhelm them with numbers, and don't forget to train your folks at least a little bit. Wolf ahead. Perfect. Okay, so we need to follow the path generally east, or west, I mean. Not so fast. You can try to run if you'd like, but if you're too slow... Well, I got a peasant, or a pheasant, in the meantime. Where'd he go? Oh, you know they're baddies. Extra sneak. Oh, over the shoulder. What the... How they're oh, they're AI dodging. AI dodging. Motherfuckers. Oh, damn. Gotcha. Serpentine. Serpentine. So a Vagrant is a higher level than a Highwayman, it seems. It's based on that one encounter. I'll take your old iron arrows because why not? Not losing frames. Maybe that. Ooh, fine steel. Might be like a ice claw. It will be mine. Yeah, we're dipping below max frames quite a bit in this area. Good. Doesn't always immediately go. Save, we'll grab a little, it's like an apple, do the trick. I don't see any baddies, but I just know that they're there. Oh, this is the Myra Tower. Oh, you're just letting that sit there. Oh, oh, he got me good. Got him. Yeah, thanks, buddy. Mana regen. Cheese wheel it up. Ah, there's our boy. I'm gonna climb up these trees because it feels like the right thing to do. Oh yeah, there could be like a bird's nest up there. Nah. That's considered his property, so I can't really take that stuff. Oh, come on. Design your steps right. Couple of friends. Let's go say hi. Actually, should I? Hopefully I can handle any gear I'm going to acquire.
Yes?
Grandmaster sent me.
Oh, yes. You're the prodigy. I was expecting something else. I hope you're aware of what you're getting yourself into. Our novices trained for years for this trial. And as much as I respect the Grandmaster, I think this is naive. In other words, it will be dangerous. Be aware of that.
I don't seem to have much of a choice.
How selfless of you, but as you wish. Then it seems I'm granted the extraordinary honor of exalting the first pathless in the history of the Order to a keeper. The others will scream for joy. Give me the package the Grandmaster gave you, and say hello to your new comrades. I have to go prepare something.
Prepare. Dunwar.
I don't want to hear it. You're prattling. I don't want to hear it. Just shove off.
What's your
You
problem?
have to ask? This country is going downhill, and you are living proof of it, my friend. First, Nevermere's wild mages are allowed to walk on the holy temple grounds as if it were some kind of brothel. Then mercenaries are hired, and now you, an outlander, a pathless, are able to be initiated into the sigils of the Holy Order. We've trained for years to stand here, and until now, I thought that this country respected its traditions. That's my problem. Now get out of my sight. Get lost.
Okay. Maybe I can make better friends with the devoutly religious one.
What? Oh, hello. You're our unexpected addition, aren't you? The prodigy?
Yes, but you can call me Stevix.
It does, actually.
Oh, she's an
I'm
important
Julia
NPC.
Sakarish, by my path, novice and aspirant to the first sigil. I have been told what you did in Old Rashengrad, that you saved the excavations and fought back the mercenaries all on your own. An astonishing feat, truly. You have my respect for that.
Save for excavations, yes, but people from your order already did. That's the truth.
I know, but you tried. You know, I'm really curious as to what the mercenaries thought they were doing. Someone willing to attack the Holy Order is either extremely powerful or extremely naive. Anyway, it's been an honor to meet you in person. Let's talk later.
All right.
All right, enough of the chatter. Come here. Here. These potions will be necessary later, so be careful with them. Apart from that, it's still a few miles to the ritual place. As you're all gifted with magic, the spores in the forest ahead will make you a little dizzy, but we won't stay for long. Any questions?
Oh, the spores, knowledge.
Long story. Simply put, they come from a special kind of mushroom that has infested this forest, and staying near them worsens the arcanist's fever. So, in case you're thinking about exploring further, take some magical protection and some ambrosia with you.
What's that magical protection outside of ambrosia?
Good. Stay close to
I'm
me.
not familiar.
But it's too late for that. Korek would have conquered the city. Instead, you will be ashamed.
Let's go. I'm good. I'm good. Just getting my loot on.
So this is the Whispering Forest. Fascinating. I've read a lot about it, but never actually seen it.
Poor thing. My brothers and I have seen the border.
Oh, these that have the
before.
taint
I
on
bet
them.
You know all about the Undercity's rat holes instead.
It looks bad. Why don't you guys take care of that for me? It's only gonna attack me.
Careful.
I finished it, I think.
More of them.
There.
Whoa, wow. Oh, just run away. He's defeated. They were all defeated. That's scary. I mean, they'll auto heal, but Anyways, I saw a thing I wanted to collect over here. You guys are doing your heal. Sack of glimmer dust. Poor sod. Glintwater crevasse. Don't want to enter any of these places just yet. Yeah, so they're not as reliable as I thought they were going to be.
Wait, do you see that?
Yes, that man. What is he doing?
Who cares? He's probably just a traveler.
He shouldn't be here. No merchant in his right mind would voluntarily travel through the Whispering Forest. We'll go take a look at him. Stay ready.
I think we're going to have to kill him. It's the most likely result.
I see it.
She's with me now.
What are you doing?
Kirush!
What in? You there? Who are you? And what are you doing here?
She's with me now. Forever.
What are you, deaf? Identify yourself.
His eyes. Master, this is the Red Madness.
Shit, of course. You will put away that pickaxe right now, my sir, and then get on your knees.
She wanted to leave. Don't you understand? She wanted to leave
Oh,
me.
he's an elfy guy.
Just like that.
This is
No.
disgusting.
She will stay.
Oh,
By the righteous path! Have you lost your mind?
I could ask you the same thing. Damn
nothing
it. Did you
valuable?
forget what Magister Yarrow did to the novices? This man could have attacked us at any moment.
Oh, really? Malphus, protect us from your cunning. But did the thought ever cross your mind that one needs to understand a disease in order to heal it? And that some apothecary might have given their left hand for a living patient?
You're not being fair, Master. I was only protecting...
Like heck you did. You behaved like an idiot. And not for the first time. The other masters might ignore that fact due to your religious commitment and your bloodline. I get that. But if something like this ever happens again, you will be suspended from the rites and will spend the rest of your life polishing prayer banks in the sanctum. Do I make myself clear?
He really was trying to protect us, Master. Maybe...
Do I make myself clear?
You do, Master. And I beg your forgiveness for my offense.
Granted.
Now
Now
let's move on.
push We will take care of the body after the ritual.
Looks like a pretty sweet sword. So look at that, like, pommel action.
Are you okay?
Just save it.
Probably way to get in there. This looks important. As well as a box. Relata Shera. Oh, some glimmer dust. I don't think this Relata stuff, I think that's new. Because they had like a late expansion that added like areas with more stuff. Okay, we're not going up there? Oh, there's like a main section. Well, I'm going up there.
Here it is. This is where Malthus's vassals erected their first camp. So behave yourselves accordingly. You too, prodigy.
Well, I'm the one. I've been a good boy. It's old Dunwar over here that's been causing trouble. Oh, it's a 2-star. I've lost control. We're getting attacked during this ritual. You know it.
Before we start, there's something I need to tell you. Something, important. The rumors concerning the deaths of the Lightborn. They're true.
What?
The gods are dead. They fell 2 winters ago beneath the sword of an unknown traveler. We, that is, the Order, have known about this for quite some time now, but haven't told the common people yet. But since the 3 of you intend to take the trial, there's no way to disguise the truth anymore.
But how can a god die?
There was a prophecy, as old as the Lightborn themselves, in which there was talk of a shadow god who would end the era of gods. And it came true. I'm sorry.
You're sorry? You're telling us that the gods have been killed, and you are sorry. What's next? That tomorrow the sun will stop shining? Tell us that this is a test, Master. It is, isn't it? A test of our faith.
No, the Lightborn are dead. But, hard as it may be to accept, we cannot afford to fall into a spiritual crisis right now.
The Order of the Gods, Malphas's order, was created to protect the Lightborn. And if what you're saying, this blasphemy is true, then we're meaningless. We failed, don't you see that? Oh, by the Black Guardian, I just can't believe it.
And
What?
though I shan't be seen,
That
I
noise.
shall live by my virtue. 3rd Revelation, verse 1.
Here, bees behind me. I don't like it.
I know it's hard, Dunmar, but if this is true, we have to show strength and keep on believing in what the Lightborn stood for. Which is the idea of peace and...
Oh, just shut your mouth, Sakaresh. If anything, you lowborn scum are living proof that the Order is going downhill. Do you really think I don't know about the village? You're a damned witch, and if this were the old times, you would have been crucified long time ago.
You don't mean that, Dunmar.
Drop it, for heaven's
Oh, a dark
sake.
past.
We're all on the same side here.
No, we are not. This wench doesn't have any right to wear the white robes. And if you would spend more time with the holy scriptures instead of your brandy bottle, you would see it as well. But no, you just...
Shut up! I swear to you, one more word and you will wish that I just suspended you.
But...
No buts. Do you understand?
Yes.
I hope so, for your sake. Just be glad that this is a time when we need skilled mages more than ever. Just be glad. Now enough of this. Our demeanor defiles this sacred place. There will be enough time for depression and personal crisis after the trial. Let's recite the holy words.
I don't know him.
Thou art my light, my glimmer at the horizon. Thy name is my sacrament, and thy path I will honor. In life as in death.
May your light guide me.
Good. As you know, this trial will test the fortitude of your spirit. Because this is what distinguishes a keeper from a soldier. What distinguishes a wise man from a fool. Keep that in mind. Now, drink the potion I gave you.
Wait, is this a suicide cult?
You first, Prodigy. Let's hope the Grand Master was right about you.
I don't feel so hot. Set bonus was removed from your spellbook.
Oh no. No. No, no. I knew I wouldn't be the last one. Did they also tell you the tales about the Keeper's spirit?
Keeper
They lured
spirit.
you into a trap, you know. And you fell for it. Because you're arrogant. Just as I am. As I was.
A whining illusion, expect a little more. I know. Whining illusion, expect a little more.
I know I'm not real. At least not according to your definition of the word. But then again, what is reality anyway? If I told you that you and your friend Sirius actually lie dead at the bottom of the sea, and that everything that has happened so far, your journey to Ark, the search at the Sun Coast, was only a dream, would you be able to recognize the truth? The answer is no. Because you don't want to be dead. Therefore, your mind will do anything to make you believe this entire dream you've had was and is reality.
So I'm a ghost.
Doesn't it? Tell me, what is time to the dead and dreaming anyway? The last second before the water floods into your lungs. The very last instant before it tears them apart. In your mind, it could be an eternity. A self-created sanctuary built from nothing but your wishes. But what's the point in talking anyway? You don't want to believe me. And I'm tired of trying to make you. Now leave me alone before we make the suppressor even angrier. He doesn't like words. He likes the silence.
Suppressor?
What? They haven't told you about him? Oh, that's so typical. The suppressor. He's the reason why we will be imprisoned here forever. And why we can't access our feelings and wishes. And he does it because he wants us to lose hope. To stop believing. And... you know, sometimes I wonder if that's exactly what we humans... what I have to do to finally be free. Give up. Detach myself from the dreams of the past. Who knows if there were anything else than phantasms to begin with. But no. No, not yet. It's too early to surrender. And isn't that what makes us human anyway? To hope? And to just keep on waiting for that one miracle that will end the pain once and for all? Yeah, I'll wait. And you will wait with me forever.
So we shall escape from this strange place in the next episode. So catch y'all then.